Hi everyone. So today's lecture is about electric circuit. So this is our second lecture of building services in which we'll learn about 2 to 3 different types of circuits. What is an electrical circuit? What are its types? In electrical circuit means something which is closed. Anything in a closed loop is called as a circuit. Electrical circuit will become a circuit which is in a closed loop through which current passes. So the definition of it becomes an electric circuit is a closed loop through which electric current can flow. Now it consists of various components which are interconnected to each other. So let's just make a small diagram in which I'm making a battery. The battery is attached to your switch, and the switch is attached to a bulb, and that bulb. So this is your battery. This is your switch. Let's just eliminate this. Either you draw this or you draw this. These both represent the symbol of a battery. And now this is your bulb. Your bulb has this wire connection inside it. Now, this whole circuit is interconnected together through different components, and they completely make a loop when this wire touches this area. Now, when this switch is on, then the circuit will be complete. Once the circuit is complete, I mean everything is connected together, then the current can easily pass through it. I'll also give you one example of human body and earth. Now, human body is conductor of electric charge. Our body can take in the electric charge. That is why we get short circuit, or we get affected by current. When you see a wooden table, or maybe a plastic chair, or a plastic appliance, or a plastic device, these are insulators. Insulators mean something that cannot carry current through themselves, but other things like metals, they conduct electricity through themselves. Human is also one of the conductors of electricity. That's why we get electric shock sometimes when we get in an impact with current. So how do we, you might have noticed your parents say that don't touch the electric appliance bare feet. Why? Because when we are barefoot, when a human is standing on earth and I'm barefoot touching the ground, and then I'm again touching one electric socket, why will I get electric shock? Because my feet touching the ground will actually complete this loop, and the current will flow through my body completely. If suppose the human body is wearing some solid plastic sleepers, or anything which does not allow electricity to pass through it, then when I touch this, the circuit will not be complete and I will not get electric shock. So that's why, since human is letting the current pass through it, through itself, through himself, that's why we get electric shock. So an electric circuit is something which is closed in loop, and this closed loop allows the electric current to pass through it. Now inside this electric current, let's go back. When everything is connected together, any appliance that we have inside this circuit will lit up, or it will start working. Now in this circuit diagram, the very first element that you see here is this. So this is your battery. Battery is known as your power source, because this is giving you the driving energy to generate electricity throughout the grid. So battery becomes your power source. Next comes your conductor. Conductor are the materials which are allowing your current to pass through it. So these are the components of your electric circuit. First is your power source, which is battery. Second one is your conductor. Now conductor is something that is allowing the electric current to pass through it. So every material or a wire in this diagram is your electric conductor. Like we discussed about human and current, so human being also is a conductor, but in this circuit the conductor is our wire. The third component here is the electrical device, this one, which is our bulb. So any device that is using electrical device, so any device which is using electricity to lit up is actually your load or your electrical device. So here our electric device is bulb. It can be any of your appliance, your fan, your computer, your ACs, every device which is running on electricity will come in your load. Electric device can also be termed as load. And the last switch here, the last uh, point here is your switch. Now switch acts as your circuit breaker. We call the switch as a circuit breaker. Why is it a circuit breaker? Because this is your switch. So when you close this switch like this, it will complete your circuit and it will let the electricity pass through it, which will help your appliances to work. And when I break this circuit by switching off my switch, this will help to break the circuit and switch off your appliance. So it is using to control and protect the complete circuit from overloading and short circuit, sorry. So it is controlling and protecting your complete circuit. So these are the four components of your electric circuit. Now, what is the importance? Why do we need to study about electrical circuits in architecture? The first point is functionality, as always, because we want our spaces to have proper power access. So functionality is the first point for getting power access to all the areas inside your building. Then second point is your safety. If as an architect you have prepared a complete electrical drawing, you know which areas will have the wires, which areas will have the sockets, which areas will have the switches. So safety is important in terms of avoiding your overloads and your short circuits. So if everything is planned already, we can avoid these things. Next is energy efficiency. Now, if we have proper balancing of load and if we have smart systems installed inside our home, then we can obviously save energy, and this has to be pre-planned before designing your building and before coming up to construction of your electrical grid throughout your building. And last is the space planning. With the proper circuit design, we can allow flexible layouts and use of appliances without any clutter. If I'm already planning where to put up my microwave in my kitchen, where to put my fridge in my kitchen, I will already have all the spaces laid out. For example, this is your fridge, maybe you are putting your microwave somewhere here, you have other mixes and all somewhere here. Now you already know where all I am placing my major devices, which will need our 15 ampere socket. This will also need 15 ampere socket, and this will need maybe 5 ampere socket. So if I already have the proper design circuit layout, I can easily have my electrical drawing, and then it can be used, all my appliances can be used without any clutter, and you'll have a proper defined space for each device that you are using in your house. So next are the types of your circuit designs. First one is your series circuit. Now this word, um, series means something which is in a single path from end to end. Like we have movies and then we have series. What is the difference between movies and series? Movies is something one time, and series we have sorry, I'm writing lecture one. We have episode 1, episode 2. So they all are going one after another, connected to your previous episode. So series is something which is connected end to end. Same definition goes for your series circuit. This is a circuit which has all the components which are connected together end to end in a single path. All the components connected together end to end in a single path. And this complete circuit is allowing you to pass the current in single. Okay. Yeah. So now I've made this circuit. The key component about this series connection is, if suppose I have two bulbs installed in this circuit, if this bulb falls out, then this bulb will also not work. If the first bulb falls out, the second will also not work, because in this my circuit is breaking. See, this bulb that you see here, it has this small, very light small wire installed inside it. And what happens at the time of overload, more current starts passing through your circuit. When more current is passing, this element will heat up, because this is not designed for overload or much of current. Once more current passes through it, this metal this material will melt and this circuit will break from inside. It burns and breaks. So once there is a break inside this circuit, my closed loop is now broken from one side. So once it's broken, my other appliance will not receive the electricity and it will also not work. So did you get my point? If this fails, the next component also fails in your series connection. That's the key point about this connection. And the current is always constant in always constant in your series current, but voltage may drop across each component. So current is constant, but voltage drops. It might drop across each component. So a series connection can have multiple elements. It can be 3 or 2 or 5 in one single connection. Now next is your parallel connection. Now everyone knows what is a parallel line. We have learned it in our earlier classes. Two lines uh, which are parallel to each other, which never intersects, but they go side by side. So same goes in our parallel circuit. We have the same series circuit, but in this the same voltage is divided across two paths. Suppose this is my battery and I have two bulbs, but they both are parallelly connected to each other this way. And maybe I have a switch somewhere here. This is my bulb. So what happens here is the voltage remains constant through all the branches. If I have these two branches, my voltage will be constant in these areas, and the current is divided between the branches on the basis of resistance. What happens here is, suppose if this bulb falls, if this bulb stops working, this loop is still closed, it will still be working. So if one of my bulb fails, this will not fail, because in parallel connection, one or the other loop will always be closed, and a closed loop will always help in the current to flow through it, right? So the parallel circuit is typically a circuit where the components are connected across the same voltage source, and it has equal voltage across all the components, currents allowing the currents to pass through each of the branches. Now there is a difference between the advantages and disadvantages of a series and parallel circuit. So let's go to advantages first. So we have series and then we have parallel connection. In our series connection, it is very simple to install, because since it will only have one wire connection, just one power source, and just a few appliances. But this is a bit complicated. And why is it complicated? Because you will have to install two different wires or maybe three different wire connection, so as to make it in a multiple path, to make it like a multiple branch connection. So this is a bit complicated to install. Second point is it requires less wiring, which ultimately leads to your less cost. But since we have multiple paths here, it will require more wiring, and more wiring will lead to more cost. So this, we can have a separate point for this. This is inexpensive and this is quite expensive. Then our series connection is failure sensitive. One single defect in your circuit will cut short your complete circuit. But in parallel circuit, it is more of an independent operation, because every appliance or every path will have a different operating side, and we can have more efficient and more safer connections, which will also save our appliances. Then last is there is voltage drop in your series connection, but there is no voltage. Voltage is consistent in your parallel connection. And for homes and for all the appliances, it is always good to have a constant voltage. So because constant voltage helps all the devices to stay safe. Otherwise, if the voltage is up and down, it can affect the performance of any appliance, and it can even lead to short circuit, which will ultimately damage your device. So overall, parallel circuit is something that is used in our houses these days. And then at last comes your combination circuit. And combination circuit, as the name suggests, it is a combination of your parallel and series both. So what happens here is, suppose I have some battery here, and then this is my series connection, but inside this series connection I have two different connections which are parallel in nature. So this here becomes my series connection, this closed loop, but then inside this series connection I have two separate parallel connections. So combination circuit is basically a circuit that contains both parallel and series connection together, and it actually blends the characteristics of both the circuits, and it allows us to be more flexible, and we can control our system better when we have both the connections, because there might be certain areas in which we need series connection and there might be certain in which we don't need series. Parallel will help better. So if we have a combination of both, obviously it will help us to make more efficient electric design. So the benefit of this is obviously flexibility, more control, and we can have zones for different energy areas, which will help us reduce the overall cost. But the disadvantage of it is bit more complex to design and even troubleshoot. By troubleshooting, we mean maintenance. It is difficult to design and even to maintain, and it requires a lot of load calculations, lots of analysis before coming up to the bigger picture of designing the complete combination circuit. And obviously it requires more and more of wiring as compared to the last two circuits that we studied. At the end, we'll conclude it with a chart which says basic properties of all the circuit. First is your series, then we have parallel, and then we have combination circuit. Let's discuss about the current flow first. So in series connection, the current is same in all the components. In parallel, it is divided, and in combination, it is mix of both, right? Then is your voltage. The voltage is divided in current because it drops down with every device, but in parallel, it is same for both. In combination, it will vary according to your design. Then is failure impact. In series connection, entire system can fail just because of one simple problem in the network, and in this others will work even if one fails. And in combination, partial failure is possible, but then again it is better than series and almost equally valuable like parallel. And the last is its use in architecture. Now, series connection is mostly used in decorative lights. You might have seen Diwali lights, or what you call them, rice lights. If one small LED bulb it goes off, almost all the bulbs in that connection will lose. Nowadays, what kind of lights we get? It the wire is doubled. There are two wires going through your whole rice light. So what happens here is, if one series connection fails, then alternate your alternative lights will switch off. But again, the lights in between, sometimes they are still working because there are two different series connection in this rice light. So basically, decorative elements are more useful to work with when we are considering our series connection. And for our buildings and commercial or private, or maybe the main lighting, almost everything is done in your parallel connection. And more complex structures like HVAC, and in smart homes we basically use our combination circuit. So this was all about your connections, circuits. There are three types of circuits. We have learned about the basic definition, their advantages, disadvantages, and what is the flow of each component in your connection. In the next class, we'll study about basic domestic installations like water heaters, radiators, which are more energy consuming. So yeah, this was all about today's lecture. See you in the next one. Bye bye.